Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Tactical Preview. Manchester United against Liverpool in the Premier League. The first time that we've ever gone to Anfield and been underdogs to the level that we are, and it don't fit right with me, to be honest. It doesn't fit right with me seeing them top of the table, undefeated, having solved all of the issues that we give them shit for. No, rightly so, that's football. This is what we do. They have solved a lot of their issues, and they do look good. And I am worried that they're going to win the league. I do think City will have something to say about that. That don't make me feel any better. As a United fan, you're kind of hoping, I don't know, that the league just gets abandoned this year or something. World War III breaks out and it's all happy days. Or Chelsea can somehow pull it off. As a United fan, we're not having a say in this title race. And that is virtually, well, it's happened once or twice post-Fergie, but this isn't something I'm used to as a United fan. It's definitely taken a lot of getting used to. But there is a way to beat them. And as the title says, how to beat Liverpool. Don't misquote me, because I know you love that. I'm not saying United are going to beat Liverpool. I actually don't think we're going to. I do think we're going to probably go down, because I don't think we've got the personnel to pull off what we're aiming to do, or how I think United could do it to beat Liverpool this weekend. But they are beatable, and they have lost games this season, albeit not in the Premier League. And they can be got at. And if anyone can do that, it's Jose Mourinho. I think there's one record that's going to go this weekend. And I don't think it's Liverpool's unbeaten Premier League record, unfortunately. I think it'll be the Jurgen Klopp hasn't beat United since he's been here, and Jose Mourinho's been here. Mourinho's managed to beat him at Old Trafford and bore the piss out of everyone at Anfield, hasn't he? And do you know what? I think we would actually take it. I think I'd actually take boring the piss out of everyone 0-0. As I said at the time, when everyone was losing their mind about going parking the bus at Anfield, you take a point away from home. It's acceptable. You don't want it, but you take it. And it's not acceptable if you're the home team in those circumstances. Just like last week, it wasn't acceptable for us to only take the point against Arsenal at home. We needed to go and win that, and we didn't. It's on the home team to get the victory. The away team, if they get a draw, is happy days, in my opinion. So how do you beat Liverpool then? Now, you have to stop the supply to them, to their forwards in the final three. And Liverpool don't actually play too much in the middle of the park. Liverpool like to knock it around the defence a little bit. They like to hold possession in their back line. Abdul, thank you. They like to hold their possession in the back line quite a little bit. And when they're holding possession in the back line in a little bit, they like to then start launching it forward into the final third. And when it gets into the final third, that's when they'll start doing their magic with it. It goes from the back line into the final third, and they really do bypass midfield quite a bit. Now, once it gets into the final third and you're looking at what they're going to do with their key players, the likes of Mo Salah, the likes of Firmino, these are players that are going to cause them trouble, are going to cause us trouble. Last year, Mo Salah absolutely lit the Premier League up. People was like, oh my God, where's this lad been? This season didn't start off so well. People very fast to write him off as a one-season wonder. I think if you look at everybody that went to the World Cup, regardless of how far that they went, no one really has lit up the Premier League that did anything in the World Cup last year. So I think it's safe to say Mo Salah's probably still going to be a big threat for United. And he's probably still going to be a big threat for anyone in the Premier League this season. He's still a good player, but like even what we're seeing with our own players, that World Cup's taken a little bit for people to get over. Now, how do you beat them? Like I said, you've got to slow down the ball. You've got to put traffic in front of them, because they're very direct. And a lot of people aren't honest about how Liverpool play in this heavy metal football. They think that they're knocking it around and inventing football into this whole nother level. They're very simple. They use the gegenpress to try and regain possession in the final third. If they don't do that, they collapse into a traditional 4-3-3 where the defence is sat very deep, the midfield compresses and goes very narrow, and then the wide players drop into almost like a five-man midfield, and then the forward player will sit and just occupy a little bit of the space. Once they receive the ball there, they don't have a slow build-up. They're not like Manchester City, or even ourselves, to be honest. We have an annoyingly slow build-up. Liverpool do like to then bang it into those channels, bang it in behind the defence. As I was just showing you a second ago, there's numerous examples of that. If you go back and watch the game at Old Trafford last season, they will hold their possession with that back four and they look to bang it into the final third, into a channel, turn the defence around and get it in there. They do that very quickly as the opposition defence has stepped up. So if you cut the supply meaning you man-mark the shit out of those in the final third. People say Ashley Young did a great job on Mo Salah, and do you know what? He did. But it was a team game. You saw Matic coming over and covering. You saw Chris Smalling coming over because Ashley Young does fly out of position quite a bit. There was 3 people that was responsible for Mo Salah that day at Old Trafford when we beat him last time. And I think that if you're going to get a result this time around, it needs to be a similar sort of system that United employ. We have to outnumber them in the final third and not allow them 1v1 on any of our defenders, because our defenders are dog shit and they will absolutely annihilate them. So you have to cut the supply by not letting them have free reign in that final third. You do that and we're absolutely screwed. The next thing that you have to do is something that United haven't really done, and that is press from the front. And for me, that's where Marcus Rashford comes in. Marcus Rashford has been in absolutely scintillating form for United at the moment. And Marcus Rashford, the way he presses from the front makes him United's key player for me. Not just what he's going to do with the ball at his feet, not just what he's going to do putting the ball in the back of the net, but Marcus Rashford's intensity at the moment is infectious. You play Marcus Rashford, you play Jesse Lingard, and I'll get to my starting 11 in just a second, and you're going to see Manchester United have an opportunity. But because Liverpool tend to bypass their midfield, and this isn't every time, but it's their go-to, is to go long into the channels and go direct. If you give it to Manchester United, if you give it to Liverpool and allow them to have it in the back line, they're going to punish you. But if you can start to play them at their own game and use our fast forwards to put them under pressure, especially Lovren. Lovren's going to give us the ball back. It sounds like he's going to be the only fit centre-half that they've got. There's also potentially Trent Alexander-Arnold is looking at an injury as well. So it might be a bit of an inexperienced back line. Now, Van Dijk's very good. You can probably press him and get the ball off him, but that's what I would be looking to do if I was United. Hammer that back line. Don't let them settle in the slightest, because it's going to be a very high line. They're playing at home, and we are definitely going to be parking the shit out of the bus. Make no mistake about that. We are going to be looking to hit them on the counter. But you can also take the initiative and try and press them from the front. Jesse Lingard's excellent at it. It's a natural tendency of his. Marcus Rashford's excellent at it. It's a natural tendency of his. I think isn't Ashley Young's actually natural tendencies is to press like that. The problem is, Lukaku's going to be in the middle, and it's not in his natural tendencies to do that. That's why you play the likes of Ander Herrera in and around there as well, because they will start to press. The press is ineffective if it's 1 or 2. There has to be more players. It has to be a united front. That's what makes Liverpool and City so good at doing it, is because everywhere you go, you kind of get swarmed. And the final thing that United need to do to win this game, and this is going to be the hardest thing for us to do, and probably where we fail, because I do think we can make it congested. I do think when we're looking at those balls coming in, we can put Fellaini and we can put Matic in key areas to intercept those balls in the air and then turn that defence into attack. I think United can do that. And I also think we can press them from the front. And I think Marcus Rashford can put them on the back foot and we can capitalise on their mistakes. But the thing that I think is going to let United down, and it's the thing that we need to do if we're going to win this game, is to cut the mistakes out. United have had so many errors this season. So far, there's been 2 defensive errors in the Premier League that have led directly to goals. Last season, there was only 4 in the entire season. The season before that, there was only 3. We're making a lot of errors, and that's not including what's going on in Europe as well at the moment, where you've obviously seen just errors galore. United have to cut the defensive mistakes. Every single game has looked like a defensive mistake has happened, and that has cost Manchester United. Last season, we conceded 28 goals in the whole competition. This season, we conceded 26. If it goes the way it's going, we will concede 61 goals this season, which is around about just less than double what we normally concede over the whole length of a season. It's an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Defensive errors will cost us in this game, and it's why Jose Mourinho really wants a centre-half. Let's have a look at the starting 11 that I would like to employ then. So, this formation that I've got here and this 11 is 2 teams essentially. There's a 3 at the back that I can show you in this with this exact lineup as well. So I'm going to go with Big Dave in net, obviously. I'd like to see Delo in there. Now I'll get onto the injuries in a second when Jose starts. When I talk about the press conference, because Jose mentioned a hell of a lot in the press conference. I think there's 9 injuries that we're currently looking at for United. That's not good. But essentially, I think some of them are probably bogus injuries, and I think some of it's mind games a little bit from Jose. But I'd like to see Diego Delo given an opportunity. He gives us an outlet on that right-hand side, and he gives us a presence on that right-hand side that's willing to go forward when the opportunity arises. Ashley Young's going to get the nod because he's the only available person that can play left-back. I think Damian's injured. Luke Shaw is injured. It's going to be Ashley Young. he's probably going to be wearing the captain's armband. I didn't throw up in my mouth. That was you. Jones and Bay, I think, are going to be given the opportunity to partner each other at centre-half. This is where mistakes could definitely come in for us. But on a pure defensive point of view, they're probably our two best raw defenders. Unfortunately, they're also both batshit crazy, and I've got mistakes in them all day long. These two are going to have probably the game of the season. Probably not their lives, but certainly the game of the season for both of them if United are going to pull this off. In midfield, Ander Herrera is in the 6. In reality, I think he'll probably be in the 8. It could be all three of them that end up rotating through this, to be honest. But do expect to see Matic and Fellaini sit deep, sit right on top of that defence and protect those overhead balls that are coming in. Now, Jones and Bay aren't bad in the air. They're certainly not Victor Lindelof. But you're going to see a lot of those direct balls, especially from Van Dijk, coming into the channels or right down the pipe in the middle. This is where Fellaini and Matic are going to be key. Intercept that and move the ball up the pitch. Unfortunately, he's not going to play Paul Pogba, I don't think, although there is a chance he does play. If United don't play somebody like Paul Pogba, we are going to lack in players that can move it from the middle third into the final third. That's an issue for us. But it's going to be one of those issues where I think Jose tries to play it safe and he goes for the two big giants like Fellaini and Matic over someone like Pogba who might have the ability to go and play a killer ball and actually get us the goal that we need to win this game. In the final third, Marcus Rashford for me, as I said earlier, first name on the team sheet at the moment, red hot form and a local lad that knows what this means. On the opposite flank, Jesse Lingard, ditto, essentially. Jesse's a nice aggressive player for his size, and you want someone that's got that sort of fight and desire into him because that's what you've got to do in these games. You've got to take the fight to Liverpool. Don't give them a fucking inch. Lukaku's going to play up front. Don't think he needs to be playing. I think the lack of options at the moment mean that he's probably going to play. But the flexibility that's in this starting 11 means that this could also be a back three. And this is how it would look in a back three. So you can see Ander Herrera move from the number 6 position or one of the number 8 positions into that right-hand side centre-half. That's just to deal with the pure numbers that you're going to have and make it congested in that area. That also means that you're not going to get isolated as a centre-half because there's now 3 of you. And they've always got that extra backstop. And I think that's probably something that Jose Mourinho's at least considered, if not going to definitely go with. The rest of the team shape's pretty similar. It gives Ashley Young the licence to get a bit further up the pitch. Ditto with the low. You see Fellaini and Matic sitting in the exact same position, but then it gives you that licence that Marcus Rashford can go central and Jesse Lingard can also help with the press. I think both of them are options for United in this instance. Whether or not Jose decides to go with them, I don't know. We've also got a million other things that you can see could or should or maybe would happen. I see a lot of people wanting Juan Mata to get into the starting 11, and I completely understand that. You do need players of that kind of quality, but I think Jose's going to go with something a little bit more physical than what Juan Mata can offer. And people go, well, Jesse Lingard's not physical. No, he's not. But he is quick and he is aggressive, and I think speed and aggression is going to win out over someone with, you know, a touch from God himself like Juan Mata. I'm going to come to the comments in a second, so make sure to get your comments in. But before we get to the comments, let's have a quick look at this week's sponsor. As usual, it is the Perfect 10. If you would like to join the Perfect 10 league, that is going to be... No, it's not them. It's definitely that one. Just double click on the phone. One sec. Bear with us. Try it now. Double click it. Hit them. Double click it. Hit the menu. There you go. There we go. So as I said, this is sponsored by Perfect 10 from The Sportsman. If you want to get in the mix, all you got to do is hit the link in the description below. You can come and join it completely free, and you can win £10,000 just for guessing 10 of this weekend's results correctly. It's completely free to enter. Why wouldn't you just stop what you're doing now? You don't even need to download it. It's a website. You just go to it, you press play, and you can win 10 grand. It's as simple as that, just for picking a load of results. Now, if you don't win the results... I'm giving away a United shirt for whoever is top of my league every single month. So you might as well play, because there's a good chance that you can just win a United shirt, because let's be honest, it's pretty ninja to get 10, although it has happened this season already. So, round 19 then, Crystal Palace against Leicester. I'm going to go with Palace for a home win. Newcastle against Huddersfield, that is an absolute dire draw fest, let's say that. Blackburn at home, I am going for those. I'm going to go for Hull at home to Brentford. Ipswich against Wigan. I'm going to go with an Ipswich. It feels like there's a lot of home wins in this one, so let's throw in an away one there for Middlesbrough. Barnsley against Portsmouth. I'm going to go with an away win for Portsmouth. A home win for Bradford. Fleetwood, draw with Burton, and Gillingham and Wickham. I have no idea. I'm going to say a draw. Tiebreaker, how many goals are going to be scored in all 10 of those? I'm going to say 18. No, I didn't say 28. I definitely said 18. Still said. All right, he wants me to pick the 2. What's going on my phone? We'll go with 20. That's what I'm having. If you'd like to get involved, hit the link in the description. Come and play. It's completely free to enter. You can win 10 grand this weekend just for having a go. It takes, 30 seconds? You just saw it then. You might as well do it. Right then, let's see what you guys are saying in the old comments. Please like the video if you're enjoying the content. There is going to be no review this weekend because I'm on the kickoff with True Geordie. So make sure to like the video, and I'll see you all on Monday. Hopefully not releasing the video that we might be releasing, but we will see. Let's see the questions then. Here's the questions from everybody on Patreon. Is Young the GOAT going to pocket Salah again, says Jack? Probably not. Do we have a chance, says Milan? I think we do have a chance, to be honest with you. I think we do have a chance, but the Everton game shown you what you can do if you make it difficult for them and you make it physical and you actually get in their face. That's what Everton did. And then you can also find chances. Everton had so many opportunities to score a goal that I think if Marcus Rashford gets into one of those areas, or Jesse Lingard gets into one of those areas, maybe not Lukaku, but if one of those two gets into them areas, I think they're going to score a goal. Martin says, Mourinho's already lowered expectations by showing us how our players are shit. Maybe. Dana says, be happy with part of the bus Man United this week. Yep, I think you got to be honest, because that's what you're going to get. Usman says, I blame Jose for playing shit football. Fair enough. Mr. Cager says, give Young his fucking credit right now. What credit? What for? When's Jose leaving? Don't know. United won't go back three because Jose likes to mirror the rival. Yeah, he does. And that's not the only reason that he goes with a back three. But you're right. And I think that on this occasion, we're not going to mirror what Liverpool do, I don't think, in terms of the way we play the game. So I think that back three is an option because you can just completely flood the area where they're going to be putting the ball. He's going to park the bus. And you can do it quite comfortably with a back three. I think that's the reasons why he's doing it. But that's also the reason why I did pick a 4-3-3, because I think that either of them are possible, and the team that I selected has got that flexibility in it to be able to move from one formation to another. Rante says Liverpool 4, United 0. Oof. Real question is, what has Klopp lost? What do you mean? Loads of cup finals? Apart from that, I don't know. Will Jose play 4-4-2? I'd say it's pretty unlikely he'll play 4-4-2. He might play a 4-4-2 diamond. But no, not the traditional 4-4-2, what everyone's thinking. What hasn't Klopp won? That's a better wording. It's everything. Governor Bandicoot says, remove all the defensive errors from the players that the players have made and we would be in and around top 4. Can't blame Jose for everything. No, and that's absolutely true. That there's been a lot of times when United players on the pitch should have done better. There's also times when Mourinho really hasn't helped everything that's been happening in there. And that's why I always say I don't think just sacking the manager is going to fix everything. Just sacking the manager is not going to make Phil Jones not bang it in his own neck, because he's been doing it since Fergie was here. So those errors have to be taken out of the team. It's just that there seems to be so many of them for us at the moment. Dilly says the question is how to keep it 0-0. I would say you're not keeping this 0-0. I really don't. I think they are... I know this sounds mad, even though they've only conceded 6 in the league this season, but I think they're skating through by the skin of their teeth. They should have conceded a hell of a lot more. A bit like us last season. We should have conceded a hell of a lot more than we did. Some good goalkeeping's keeping that out, and a bit of luck is keeping that out for them. I don't anticipate this being a 0-0. I don't think we're capable of keeping a clean sheet against them, and I think we will get an opportunity and we'll put it away. What's the situation with Marshall? I believe he's injured. there's a lot of players with a doubt on them. Let's go to look at the manager's press conference and see what he actually said then today. So one of the quotes that he came out with today was, "It's not just about spending money and reinforcing the squad. A football team is more than that. It's not just about spending the money. It's like a house. It's not about buying the furniture. You have to do the work. You have to spend money on the best possible furniture, and then you're ready to live in an amazing house." What the fuck is he going on about there? He's almost gone full seagulls and trawlers, hasn't he? Or has he? Because I actually think what he's saying there is that at the moment United are going for the shiny things. And I think a lot of us would agree that we're going for the shiny things and we're not doing the fundamentals that are needed. And that was echoed in the fact that we didn't get a centre-half in the summer. Oh, we'll buy you a third-choice midfielder. How about a backup full-back and a midfielder that's probably not quite ready for it yet? But we needed a centre-half. Maybe we needed an absolute horror bag of a centre-half. Maybe it was even an old centre-half. Someone that would have just got this team over the line. There's no fucking leaders in this team, and that's something that we could have really done with. So I get what he's saying there, and I think that he's probably been offered some shiny things for the summer or for January, and he don't want them. He wants an hanging, horrible, dirty bastard centre-half. Let's see what the next one was. The only two players that were fit to play that didn't travel were De Gea and Matic. Is obviously talking about the injuries. Apart from that, all of them was not a choice. It was because they were with problems. So we took to Valencia the possible team. His English is shocking, isn't it? Apart from De Gea and Matic, both had a reason to stay. So this isn't going through all of those with injuries, but if we go through all of the ones that have got injuries. I'll just pull that up. So Alexis Sanchez, he's out. Victor Lindelof is out. I think Rojo might actually be out as well. Chris Smalling, he's mentioned recently about how he's been playing through injuries. Matteo Darmian, Marshall, Delot, Shaw and McMahonez. There's an absolute ton of them there with injuries. Which ones are serious, we don't know, because Jose mentioned in the press conference there's going to be further tests that are going on. There's going to be another training session tomorrow, and that's when the final 11 is going to be finalised. And then obviously we've got the final quote here from the press conference, which was, it's not about the money they spend in the summer, it's about many things. That's a bit more of a continuation of the initial point that he was trying to make. Right then, let's see what some of your questions are saying. Typical of Mourinho, spewing out garbage, says Usman. Okay. Paul says, start Pogba alongside Herrera and Matic, Fellaini start up front to keep centre-backs occupied. Are we playing basketball? Inferno, need another Zlatan in the dressing room in terms of a leader with an amazing winning mentality. Yeah, I actually do think we do. Boxing with Thumb says they're all shit. Who cares who's not playing? I disagree that they're all shit, but all right, mate, whatever. I do have a question about Pogba, and that's Jose succeeded, I think, in turning everybody against him by calling him a virus. I think Jose's probably equally as much of a virus with the way he comes out with a lot of the things that he's saying. Do you think that you've been duped into thinking Pogba is a virus? Because I think if you just look at Paul Pogba's performances the last few weeks aside, he's been fine for us this season. He's been all right. He's not been amazing, but he's certainly not been dog shit. What was the game the other week where there was just a million compilations of him just losing possession all over the show? Who was it? Can't remember. It was Southampton, I think. Yeah. That was a bad performance. But apart from that, I don't think he's had many really, really shocking performances. Pretty shit against Valencia midweek. I wonder how much of this is the media. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? All hope on Rashford for the derby, says Joe. He is my key player. Definitely think that's the way it's going to be going down. Start or finish, all shit. Give back Brighton their players. Okay, mate. Angelino, Lukaku scored 27 goals last season. I think his first season was a success. It was a success. This season, on the back of a World Cup and everything else that's going on, I don't want him in the team. I want him getting back into decent shape, having a little bit of a mini pre-season, and then finish the season strong, because he is a good player and he is good enough to play for Manchester United. That's 27 goals evidenced. People like to say how Van Persie won us a league. He only scored 30 goals in a much better team that scored more goals. So Lukaku scoring only 27 and he's not good enough. It doesn't really add up to me, that. I think Pogba will be displaced in that midfield. I think so. This is not how you prepare your players for a derby. No, I think that's a big one as well. Apparently, Pogba has been fucking shite. Well, I completely disagree with you, mate. You're welcome to your opinion, but you're wrong. Rybo says Rashford and Lingard should start up top together. That'd be interesting if that was how it went down. You could probably put an extra one in midfield with that one. Daniel says, is calling him a virus to do with on the pitch or within the group of players backstage, so to speak? Yeah, I think it's more backstage. From what I'm hearing inside there, that Pogba's actually the opposite. Pogba's actually trying to unite players, and even though it's against Mourinho and they have got an issue with each other, which they're denying, and that's complete and utter bollocks, but even though what you're seeing is true that they have fell out, Pogba's going, forget about this guy, to some of the other players that have also fell out with him, the likes of Valencia and Bayer. He's like, just play your game, play for you, play for the badge. And I like that. That's leadership from Pogba. I think Jose's really trying to make the narrative the one that he's putting out there. But Pogba doesn't help himself by having a bell end of an agent either, does he? Roy says, Steve, could it be the right time for academy players to come in? There's no one really. I mean, Taheep Chong I'd like to see given a chance, but I don't think he's ready to be a starter just yet. Mason Greenwood the same. I'd love to see him get 5 or 10 minutes here and there. Jimmy Garner the same. But these lads aren't ready to be playing first team right now. I thought Roshan might have got an opportunity the other week when it looked like we had no defenders, and he should have probably got an opportunity there. Or he maybe should have been taken to Valencia midweek. We've got so many problems at centre-half. We could do a lot worse than Roshan Williams. But I don't think there's anyone absolutely certain to be starting at the moment. There's a bit of a gap between, you can see the potential is there, but there's a little bit of maturity and a little bit of other things. Like the players that might be ready, like Angel, and on a serious note, could be ready, but he doesn't fit into any system that Jose's going to play. So the players that are ready, it's not really ready for them. So there's no one really knocking on the door, and I don't expect any of them to be given an opportunity. Do I think Mourinho will pull a win out the back? I'll tell you this, I'm not putting any money on it. If I was going to put a bet on this week, I'd go with both teams to score. And Rashford as an anytime goal scorer. I wouldn't be betting United to win. You can obviously see Pogba's negative influence on the side. He's creating division. I disagree. I don't think you can see that. And the word I'm getting from people who actually play for United is that that's not happening. So I have to disagree, mate. Don't you think it'd be smarter for Jose to come out attacking? I do. I just don't think that's going to happen. Mbappe was thrown into the first team. Yeah, he was, but I don't know what he was like in the academy. I never saw him in the academy, so I can't comment. And he was also doing it in the French league, not in the Premier League. We do need to get another striker in January, says Uche. Maybe someone who plays something a little bit different, or a different style to what we've got. I don't think we just need another striker for striker's sake, because we've got plenty of people who can play in those areas. I think that's the issue, isn't it? Is that we don't have any idea what sort of system we're trying to play to, or regularly play to. Anyway, that is me. Thank you guys for joining us. As I said, there'll be no United review this weekend because I'm on the kick-off with True Geordie and Statman Daddy, so come and join us on there. If I get 1,000 likes on this video, I will wear my Ashley Young t-shirt on Sunday, so it's on you guys. Fingers crossed we can pull it out of the bag, but I don't think we're gonna. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure to like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.